Good morning, everybody. Today I was going to do a swipe. I'm going to do it on glass again. I just buy frames at the dollar store. So $1 comes in a frame. You can always switch to an upgraded frame later, but for the glass purpose, it's great for $1. I'm in the middle of trying to self-publish my own children's book, and I'm doing all the illustrations myself. So this is something that I want to do for the cover of the book, and I want to do a swipe that looks like a garden, and then when it dries, I'm going to embellish it with my character on top, paint my character on top for the children's book. So it kind of is in the idea of something like this. This is one I've already done in the past just as a painting. It was a swipe, and see how I'm embellishing it with, I painted the white butterflies on top so that my background color of the butterfly will be cohesive, and then I'll paint them on, in color. So this one's got a couple butterflies on it, or so I would have already used this one as my backdrop, but this is kind of the idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and layer the colors I want with some greens and some pinks and oranges and yellows to make flowers kind of pop in there, and then I'm gonna swipe it. So I'm gonna pick my colors up here. I think I have all my colors ready to go, and all my colors are already mixed. I mix them and pour them into these bottles so that I don't have to keep mixing every single color as I go. I mix the ones in my bottle with, it's the paint mixed with the Floetrol, mixed with a little bit of the OGX coconut serum, and some water to get my consistency. So this is the coconut serum, this is the Floetrol in latex base. Make sure you get latex and not oil. I picked this up at the local hardware store in the paint section. This at Walmart in the hair care product aisle. And then I'm going to swipe with a wet paper towel, and I'm going to swipe using white so that it looks like it's a daytime garden. So here we go. If I can get my paint to flow. That one might be getting low. Go with a different one. I always shake them beforehand because as the paint sits in these bottles, it can tend to separate from the coconut hair serum that's in there, from the oils. So you just want to make sure that you shake it and it's mixed well. So this is my idea of, like the stems in the garden. Gonna do them at varied lengths so that when I swipe, it'll be varied. Do some phthalo green. So that was just a Artist Loft light green. This is a phthalo green, and this one is, this one's by Artist Loft as well. And it's almost out, but I don't need much of this because it's a strong color, and I don't want this to be too dark, but I do want some of contrasting greens in there to give it depth. Excuse my bottle, please. Okay, I think that's gonna be good. And I'm gonna use some lime green. This is I think it's Lime Tree Green by Apple Barrel. So I pick up paints everywhere, all different brands. And it just depends on what I'm using the paint for, would be the brand of the paint. If I'm gonna do a large swipe of some sort or a paint pour, I will typically use Better Brand paint. I like the basics. I like Artist Loft. I've never used Golden, but I hear great things about it. It's expensive, but I'm sure it's worth it. And this is a medium green, and this one is by Simply Acrylic. And what else do we have? I might put a little gold in there just to give it a pop here and there. And let's do some of this aqua green. I think that'd be pretty. This is bright aqua green. And this one's by Basics. I think I need to remix a lot of my paints. My bottles are getting low, but like I said, you don't need much when it comes to doing these swipes. And I want some of my white to go down in between as well. So it looks kind of like a, you know, you're looking through a garden. Do some turquoise. And then I think closer to the top here, I'm gonna do some colors to get it looking like I'm in a flower garden. Just an apple barrel orange. This is a bright fuchsia. Do some yellow. So I'm doing this book. My handsome son and his beautiful Sarah have made me a grandmother for the first time. And my beautiful granddaughter, Ayla, is 3 months old. She's beautiful. She's such a pretty little girl. I'm so in love with her. And the children's book that I'm going to do is going to be for her. And she's going to be the character, but in a ladybug form. So I'm learning how to self-publish. It's been pretty exciting so far. There's a lot of great YouTube videos that are helping me through the process. So hopefully I can get it done by Christmas. So we'll see. That's what this background is for, though. Little ladybug flying through her garden for the cover. And of course her name is Ayla Bug. Alright, so let's see what else. We might be pretty good on our colors at this point. Let's put a couple drops of different green down in here. This is a lighter green. And what else can we do? Oh, I said I was going to do some gold. I would like to do some gold in here. My gold is iridescent, so it'll dry nice and shiny. I think that might give it a little pop here and there. maybe just a little bit more green here at the edge. Oh, my edge is covered. Okay, and my color that I'm going to swipe with is white. And this is just an apple barrel white. On these swipes, you can tend to sometimes use paints that just aren't as expensive, and you're still going to get beautiful effects. I've mixed my white with the Floetrol Flood and water, but I have put no coconut hair serum in it. And I've got it pretty thin, as you can see. You want it pretty thin as you're swiping over the colors so that the colors pop through and the silicone in them will rise up through the thinner paint. And I always use these shop towels to swipe with, and I'm going to just dampen the ends with water for my spray bottle. Trying to get this done so I can have it dry and get my character painted on it so I can move forward with this book. I'm making it on a PowerPoint, and then I have to upload it on Kindle. Kindle has a self-publish site you can go to. So I'm going to just pour my paint here at the top. Pour a fair amount. Move some of this stuff out of my way. So I'm up quite early this morning. It's not even 6 o'clock. So good morning to y'all. I've had 2 cups of coffee. Not quite enough yet. All right, so I'm just gonna lay my paper towel down, the damp side, in that white paint. Kind of let it soak in for a second, and then I'm going to drag that white paint down through my colors. Nice and slow. I'm going to go nice and straight. You can go zigzag or, you know, do any kind of design that you want, but I just want to go nice and straight because I'm not trying to get anything more than a flower garden out of this. Colors are starting to pop through a little bit already. And I just take it right off the end. And you can see the cells starting to pop through. And I'm going to stretch my paint back just a little bit. I have quite a bit of white, and I want it to flow back up here and cover any spots that I might be dragged, you know, too much paint down to where I have a blank spot or so. Which you can always pour a little bit more white on it and touch it up that way as well. I'm just going to kind of tap it and encourage it where it's needing to go. This will kind of help stretch some of those cells too as they're popping. All right. And this one's getting some nice big cells in here. I'm gonna probably heat it up with my heat gun. Encourage more cells to rise to the top. Get that color from underneath to come through. I need to plug it in. Immediately when I hit it with the gun, you can see how many cells are starting to pop. I also have a small torch. I haven't used it recently because I think it's out of juice. Where did I set that sucker? Heat gun does a great job as well, though. So we're gonna let this sit and sell for a little bit, and I'll be back in a few minutes to show you how it's changed. I think my white might have been a little too heavy on my pour, so I could see the color kind of trapped below right here. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and re-swipe some areas, not with a paper towel, but I'm just gonna use one of these paint chips from, you know, the paint swatches from the hardware store. And then just with a light touch, but I'm gonna go in this direction. So I'm gonna pull some of that white back off. I'm gonna clean off my card. I'm gonna do it again. See how that's just gently taking some of that white back and bringing my composition back into the forefront. Now we're going to get some color. Use this right here. And one other spot that I'd like to, got a little bit of paint that just kind of dragged off there, and I want to just kind of bring that off the top. Now we're going to get some action. There we go. Now it's doing what I wanted it to do. Oh yeah, some cells are really coming alive now. So I'm going to actually hit it with the heat gun again. Move some of my mess off of here. Kind of wakes up that silicone. Pretty. Stretch some of them cells just a little bit, make them a little bit bigger, and see how those are opening up as the paint is being tilted. Not seeing a lot of my orange in there. I had quite a bit of it. Usually orange is pretty dominant. I'm seeing some of it start to come through here and there. Now we'll let it sit for a minute and I'll show you how much more it changes. So it has celled up nicely. See how pretty? And I think I want to embellish this one before it dries with a few flowers at the top as well. before I'm done. So I'm going to use my sink strainer to do that. And I'm just going to set it in a few areas and pour a couple of flowers. I'll do one over here in the corner at the top. Just set it right on there. And do a couple drops of orange. And some yellow. You can see it's just a few drops. And some pink. Maybe a lighter pink. And then I'm just gonna gently lift up. Might take it a minute before it actually comes through. The white can tend to eat up the paint a little bit, but I think that's gonna look cool. Let's do another one right in here. Let's give it a little pop of some red. We don't have any red. And some yellow. And it's starting to kind of come through, but I can always hit that with my heat gun and it will also help encourage the colors to come through. Just gently lift up. Doesn't look like a lot at first, but I'm sure it's going to do what I'm wanting it to do. Let's do one over here. It's a little bit more red. It's a bright red, which I love. Some more yellow. Maybe some magenta. Let's get a little magenta in there. That'd be pretty. A couple drops of that. Do another one over in here. We'll do some more of that magenta too. Let's give it a little yellow. And maybe some light pink on that one for contrast. Let's do one right here. It's going to be pretty. Let's do one more right there. Let's see. We'll do orange again. And some light pink. And another drop of the magenta. Set that off to the side. Hit them with my heat gun and see if some more cells kind of pop. This also pops any air bubbles. I want just a little bit more color in this one. I'll wipe my bottom off. Add some magenta in there. There we go. That's a little bit better. I was seeing the color trapped underneath the white. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to embellish it with my character. We'll bring in nice and close, and let's just see how pretty that is. And I like doing them on the glass because then once I do my character on here and then I coat it with varnish, I can put it in a frame and she'll have the cover of the book already framed to hang on the wall separate. So kind of a neat idea. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm so thankful to all the subscribers I do have out there. I'm getting close to 1,000, so I really appreciate it. You all take care. I'll see you on my next video.